Hello, everyone. My name is Antoine. I'd like to be known as K Rnma, and I am a brand new YouTuber, or a brand new attempted YouTuber. This is my very first video, after all. And so, before I officially get started with YouTube, I figured it was a good idea to let you know a bit about who I am and what I'd like to bring to the platform. So, I have this trusty cheat sheet here so that I can help organize my thoughts as I let you know one, two, three, four, six things, seven things about me. So, first, I am, like, just quickly, I am a teacher in Japan right now, and I am on summer vacation, and so I'm going to try and do some YouTube stuff. Like, this is my first foray into social media, and I really wanted to put myself out there, but in the past I was hesitant. Now I'm just gonna get right in there. All right, so my first movies. I love movies. I love talking about movies. When I was growing up, me and my best friend used to go and see a movie, and when it was over, we would spend the next hour or two just discussing it. So now, when I think of film, it's not just the film; it's the discussion, it's the analysis. What does this film mean to you and me? And so that's how I like to approach movies. And my favorite genre would be horror, which I both thank and blame my mother. I saw my first horror film when I think I was 3 years old. My mother took me to the movie theater, she told me to. I don't remember. It might have been Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not sure. But she took me, and apparently I loved it. And she weaned me on horror. And I still love it to this day so much. And my favorite horror movie is Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and it's mainly because I love Nancy Thompson. Nancy is my favorite final girl. I will fight anyone who tries to say anyone else. She is the best. And the reason I think she's the best is her character arc is all about saving other people, not just herself. Like other final girls, like Sydney, the girl from Your Next, they're all excellent, badass final girls. But if you look around at the end of the movie, everyone else is dead. So they successfully saved themselves, screw everybody else. But Nancy, from the very first time she shows herself on screen in part three, she has taken it on upon herself to save other people. Her career is based on helping other people not have to suffer from their dreams like she did. Even her last act in the film is saving Kirsty. Yeah, and so I believe that her character is my favorite. Like, so I think she is my favorite final girl out of all of them. Like, she's number one. Number one. Always. Love Nancy Thompson. So, yeah, so I would like to watch some horror movies on my channel. Right now, the one I'm thinking about doing is one from other countries. Like, I'm thinking about doing one from Thailand for my first video. Because I've seen a lot of American horror. I know what scares people in the American sphere. So I'm curious about, because different cultures have different fears. Different parts of America have different fears, different ghost stories, different tall tales, different urban legends, depending on where you're raised. And so I'm interested in what horror means around the world. So that's what I'd be wanting to check out. I also like classic movies. For me, a classic movie is anything before Easy Rider. I think Easy Rider is a good breaking point. Like before and after, that's where I consider classic films. And amongst the classic films, my favorite would be Bringing Up Baby. And that's because I think Katharine Hepburn is the best. Like, I love seeing her acting. I love listening to her talk. And so I had always liked Katharine Hepburn, but she had always had a distinguished character to her. In all of her films, she was very put together. But in bringing up Baby, she's able to become wacky and zany and have all these crazy adventures. And I remember as a kid watching that, it blew my mind because this was a whole new way of looking at Catherine. And as a, it just blew my mind, and I would watch it over and over and over. So it has fond memories, and it's still my favorite. I can watch it over and over today. So yes, it kind of ruined her career for a few years. I don't care. They were dumb back then. I was smart enough to understand it and appreciate it. And the last movie I have listed here, not for any particular reason, just because it's an amazing movie, is Clue, which is another movie I got from my mom. She is a huge Tim Curry fan, and so would we would watch it several times a year growing up, and I enjoyed it not so much for the mystery, which I still think is excellent, especially the three endings, but the witty rejoinders, the back and forth, how everyone had a snappy comeback to everything. I wish I was like that. I wish in real life I could talk like that just right off the bat, just bam bam. But I can't. But if someone quotes me Clue, then I can, because I know that movie by heart. So I always want to include Clue on my list of favorite movies, simply because it's such a fun experience. Like, some movies make you like or work to watch. Clue is not. Clue is just a fun experience. So I'm I love that movie. I love that movie. And another interest of mine is I like K-pop and K-dramas. Like, I got into K-pop in 2008, and I've liked it ever since. I saw it on a forum, and I didn't know what it was. Funny story. I knew who Boa was because I know J-pop, and I always thought Boa was a Japanese singer. So I thought that was funny once I found out. And my favorite K-pop artist would be Taeyeon from Girls' Generation. I like Girls' Generation. I'm a big fan, but I believe Taeyeon's solo career is just leaps and bounds above, and her evolution as an artist that continues to grow and change, that I enjoy keeping track of. Like, not resting on your laurels, not staying the same, but change and growth. I like keeping an eye on what she has to do, on what she's doing next. And I really like a lot of K dramas. My favorite is Secret Garden, and for those of you that know, very influential, very important. Like, changed the game for all K dramas at the time. Still enjoy watching it. Still enjoy the music. Big Oscar Soul fan. So great drama. I recommend watching it if you haven't. I also like dance choreo. I cannot dance, but I enjoy watching and wishing and hoping and pretending someday I will. I will not. But I love watching dance choreo. It's very intricate and very. It really makes me wish I was a dancer. All right, so that's one interest. Another, I have books here. Right now, I'm waiting for Overlord Volume 15 to finish, to be translated, because my Japanese kanji is not at that level. And yeah, because he uses a lot of obscure kanji, so I'm going to wait for translation. And I'm reading Chinese web novels. Like, I like a lot of transmigration. I don't know why. Yes, I do. It's because I like the idea of the villainess, being able to go back in time and correct her mistakes. Instead of just dying the villain, they get to make better choices. And one aspect of it I don't like is when you make the villain the good girl, make the good girl the villainess. I don't like that because that just switches the roles. It doesn't actually change anything. I like the idea of the villain is going back, making better choices, not being the good girl, still, being herself, but just making different choices that don't lead to her death. I think that those type of stories very well written, very deserved. So I like those books. TV, I'm more of a drama person. I like some comedies, but I'm not a huge ha 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 like over and over. Like The Office is more of a cringe fest, so I don't really laugh at The Office. I don't really. Yeah, I'm not really big on laugh tracks and stuff like that. So most comedies, like It's Always Sunny, I can watch, but other than that, not a big comedy person. I'm more of a drama type of person. Like for dramas, I love dramas. I like Pretty Little Liars seasons 1 through 4. Afterwards, it's pretty much becomes obvious that Marlene doesn't know how to finish this, and so I kind of weaned myself off. I like American Horror Story. I like Murder House, Asylum, and Coven. Asylum is my absolute favorite because it has a hopeful ending. It's like I like stories that take you through trauma and strife and agony, and then have a more hopeful ending. Bittersweet or hopeful. I don't like bleak endings because why continue on? If you're the last person standing and everyone else is dead, why do you want to keep going on? So I like hopeful endings to my dramas. I also, because of that, I like Hill House and Bly Manor. I watched both of those, and I like the uplifting feeling at the end, where there's still possibilities. It's not just everyone's dead. So there's pain, there's suffering, but there's a bit of hope at the end of those stories. And I think that's a great ending. I don't want just a happily ever after, just hope that tomorrow things may get better. That's all I need. That's all I need. And those are, yes, so with TV, I prefer dramas, and I prefer hopeful dramas. I like to travel. Before Corona took everything down, I would travel all around Japan at the end of every semester. Can't do that so much right now, but I love to travel. If I ever get started on that again, I'll probably make some vlogs about my travels, where I go, what I do. But that's way in the future. I have three artists, musical artists that I really enjoy. Like not counting Taeyeon, but I have three musical artists that I really love listening to or watching. Number one, Mariah Carey. I've liked her since I was a little bitty boy, and she was the very first album I ever paid for myself with my allowance, and I bought, I believe, Daydream. I believe that was the one. It's the one with Underneath the Stars. And I just remember going on a road trip with my family and pretty much ruining the tape. I played it over and over and over for days on end. Literally, days on end. Like 24 hours straight, just on a loop while we were driving and when I was sleeping. So it's embedded in my skin now. And I think it was a good idea. I still don't regret a thing. I also like Namie Amuro, who is a Japanese artist. She's retired now. Very, very sad. And I think I have. I don't see it. I have a DVD I guess I'll show it another time. I can't find it, but I have a DVD of her final performance with my name on it. It was very. I'm so glad that I was able to get it because she's gone. She's gone. But she, I liked since the '90s. I saw her video in America. I don't know. I don't remember. A friend of mine had it. I don't know where they had it, but I think it was Body Feels Exit. I believe that was. I saw the music video. I don't really know if it was on tape or I don't remember. But I saw it and I thought, wow, who is this? Because she looks so cool. And so for her, I just like watching her videos. She's amazing. She gives a great performance, and she has the steel gaze. Always, her face is always on point. I could just love looking at her face. And finally, I like Utada Hikaru, which is another Japanese artist. She's the one that did the Kingdom Hearts theme song. That was by her. And her voice, like Namie, you want to look at. Her videos, you watch. Her performance, you watch. Utada, you listen to. And so I love listening to her music. I really, really do. She's very, very famous in Japan. Everyone knows both of those artists, but I really, really like them a lot. And finally, what is your dream as a YouTuber? Just to shine a light on my favorite things, to share my favorite things. Like, I like Oscar Langley's Short of You. I'm seeing this in the background. My favorite anime art character. I liked Ray, so I bought that back then. I thought the story was going to be different, but I still like the feelings I had when I bought that. I was very hopeful for what the future was going to be. Me and my best friend had a lot of conversations about her future. He ended up being right. I don't know how he knew she was related to Palpatine. Maybe his uncle works for Disney. I don't know. But he figured that out. I have my Zelda back there. I've liked Zelda since the very first one. Legend of Zelda. I had that. Great memories from playing the first. So I should lifelong Zelda fan here. And so I just want to talk about my favorite things, watch some movies, talk about those movies, talk with you, learn from you about what movies you like, especially horror movies if I haven't seen them, because I have seen hundreds of horror movies. Like, I was that person who knew all the scary stories growing up because I believe that fear and urban legends, like all of those always fascinated me growing up. What makes people afraid? How can I make my siblings afraid just through stories? No spooking them, no jumping at them, just talking to them and giving them nightmares. That was, I always thought discovering what stories scared people was fascinating. So I love horror. I love learning about different cultures through their horror. Like, Japan has some amazing ghost stories, completely different, completely amazing. And so that is one of my big focuses. I want to learn about horror around the world. And so hopefully you guys will be able to put me on to some films I've never even heard of. Because right now the films I'm thinking about starting on are films that I've already heard of. That's the only way I can find them. Alright, so yes, that's me. That's what I'm hoping to do in the future. I don't. I will try and do 2 or 3 videos a week. I'm not sure. I haven't started editing anything, so I don't know how long that will take. And I have 6 weeks before I start with school again, and I probably go down to 1 video a week. But I'm gonna try and do 2 or 3 to get a good backlog, a good, running start. And if you have any advice, let me know. I'll pay attention, and hopefully you come along. Hopefully this is something that interests you. Hopefully, I'm saying hopefully a lot, but I hope you stick around. I hope you pay attention. I hope this is something you like. If it's not, I hope you stick around. I hope you pay attention. I hope I end up doing something that you like. So that's it. Hope you have a great day, and see you people on the other side.